Comically large robots, everyone. Welcome to the Bad Rating Podcast. My name is Atlas Novak. Who else is with me today?
I'm Chris Hetlinger, and we also have...
Hi, I'm Root Beer. I'm one of Atlas's co-hosts on his other podcast, Nexus at Night.
Yes, I run a podcast for a trading card game called Card Fight Vanguard.
Nerd. As if I should talk, just talking about how my dad and I were socializing about hydrogen bonding the other day.
And me and producer Mike thought it was hydrogen bombs, not hydrogen bonds.
And then I was very quick to correct them and saying, no, the power of hydrogen bonds, what holds our DNA together and stuff. And
right. That's how that works. Root Beer, how you doing over there in the core?
I am doing fine. Certainly exists.
That tracks. You seem to be cooking a lot from what I can tell from Twitter and Instagram.
I mean, it's not like I have anything else to do while we're all stuck inside.
Those are good skills to incorporate into your life, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just makes me jealous, though, because, I'll be like, oh my god, I figured out egg salad, and he's like, all right, I'm making 3 kinds of chicken stock from an entire chicken that I deconstructed myself, and then this is roast, and this is broiled, and this is...
Deconstructed himself from the chicken?
Yeah, he deconstructed the hydrogen bonds into food.
I mean, I'm just hoping that you didn't start with a live chicken.
No.
Okay.
Like a whole dead chicken that you can buy at the supermarket.
You can buy whole dead chickens?
Yeah, you know how in Breath of the Wild when you shoot a bird right in the head and it says roast whole bird? It's like that.
I remember one time I shot one of the ostriches and I got a whole dead bird and a bird thigh.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
That happened to me once. I was like, okay.
So this bird secretly had 3 legs.
Yeah. Or that's a different leg that you're thinking of. So today here on the Bad Reading Podcast, we like to ask our guests, Root Beer, what is it you're into besides all of the anime posters in the background?
I mean, that's basically it. Somehow everything I am into leads back to Japan in one way or another. Like, on the subject of cooking, I've just kind of been staring wistfully at expensive Japanese knives on Amazon that I will never buy because I will absolutely destroy them.
Have you made dalgona coffee yet?
No, I have not.
What's dalgona coffee?
I've just seen a million people make it now. It's just coffee. You make it with sugar and instant coffee, and so you make kind of like a syrup that you put on top of milk.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I think Alton Brown just did a video about it recently.
And here on your diabetes starter kit, we're gonna...
It's very sweet, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, this is coming from the guy that has like a straight up addiction to Dr. Pepper, so...
I mean, we live in California. We can't walk down the street without seeing someone with this giant, way too large cup of Starbucks coffee.
Damn, that was me 20 minutes ago. How did he know?
And here's my coffee now.
Yeah, that I bought you because now we're square. I forgot what favor I was returning.
I forgot too.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
So you could have manipulated me into getting you coffee, possibly, and I will never know.
Well, thank you for the coffee, regardless.
You're welcome. So. You ended up choosing Gundam as your IP of choice. Yep. Now, Chris and I know nothing about Gundam, except that it's giant robots.
And it inspired things like Gurren Lagann, which I have seen, Code Geass, which I know of but haven't seen, and Voltron, which I have seen, at least the Americanized version.
That would be like you've never read Grey's Anatomy, but you're like, I can do an appendix surgery in like 30 seconds flat.
Fun fact, I can do some surgeries.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes.
Do tell?
I know how to spay and neuter an animal.
Okay. Oh. Remind me never to piss Chris off.
So if that vasectomy doesn't pan out, I got you covered.
Right. That's later this month at the time of recording this, so... Yeah. because we didn't know anything about it, we ended up picking a Gundam Pokemon crossover.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, so this story we got from fanfiction.net. We will go ahead and put the link to the story in the show notes for artist credit, and go find it yourself. Yeah, and it's called "Yazan is the Very Best" by Risato.
It sounds like risotto, but
Risato. Now, any like Gundam references we don't get, please explain, because I'm not gonna know anything.
I will try my best. This already sounds hilarious.
Yeah. So here's the little like blurb at the beginning. It says Yazan Gable enters the world of Pokemon. Not my best work. Which means that because most of the time we find stories, people are like, I poured my heart and soul into this, and it was like ass, and this guy knows it's ass.
And he's just like, meh. I just did this for fun.
We're in for a bad read. Roll credits.
And it says, rather than actually work on my queue of legitimate stories in erotica, I decided to write up something completely unrelated and idiotic after a night of rum, vodka, and scotch.
Good choice. Disclaimer, story's mine, characters aren't. Bandai, Nintendo, Game Freak, a bunch of others. All those guys hold copyrights. All I did was drunkenly slap some shit together in a barely coherent manner. That's like in the story body itself, but it's still part of the disclaimer.
Yep.
Which is like if you watch Star Wars and the opening crawl finishes and it pans down and you just see George Lucas there. Okay, some things I have to tell you. That's Luke over there. He lives in that farmhouse. And
look, we were on a very limited budget, okay? So don't worry about the special effects.
Yeah, the opening crawl was made by Twitter, so we only got 280 characters we could do it in. Okay. Yazan glared at the wild Snorlax in his path. This fat jackass was in the way. With the anger of 10 burning suns, Yazan unleashed a mighty punch into the side of the Snorlax. The Snorlax grunted in its sleep, completely unfazed by the blow. I'm gonna violate you, shouted Yazan, furiously summoning his Hambrabi with the power of his mind to stomp on Snorlax. Snorlax was a huge Pokemon at the weight of over half a ton. Yazan's Hambrabi was a mobile suit weighing roughly 35 tons. Yazan swore on... What?
No, I'm admiring this.
So, are they able to summon their Gundams like people in Persona are able to summon their Persona creatures?
No, so in the Universal Century, which is the timeline of Gundam, there are these... being in space gives you psychic powers.
Okay.
So that's how Leia got back to the ship in Last Jedi.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You develop this form of space autism that gives you psychic powers, and you can float naked through space to resolve your emotional issues.
Wait, naked?
Space autism?
I mean, basically, they have emotions. New types tend to have problems.
So all I'm missing to cure my mental illness is just being thrown into space. That's all I need to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just float naked through space with some psychic dude with emotional problems, and everything will be fine.
Sounds great.
Dude, I bet old people would fucking love space. They're like, my balls are no longer hitting my kneecap. Finally! Okay. Yazan swore under his breath as Snorlax's guts splattered on his face. Ugh. The Hambrabi was already a bitch to clean. This wasn't going to help matters any. Yazan walked around his Hambrabi, mysteriously capable of doing so, when a much smaller obstacle had blocked his path in entirety just moments ago. Yeah, for real. Anybody remember you gotta go get the flute from, God, what was it in Pokemon Red where the Snorlax blocks your path?
The only time I played first gen was when I played the extended like tack on to the second gen.
Oh, okay. That's like the better one, I think.
Yeah, but you don't have to get past Snorlax, I think.
Oh.
Or if you do, I don't remember it because Sudowoodo was burned into my mind so fiercely.
It always bothered me that it was a rock type.
Really?
Snorlax,
I liked
you have
it.
to download an app.
What do you mean? Download an app?
like on your little Pokegear, you had to go download a specific like music frequency or something like that to wake the Snorlax up.
Oh,
It's basically the Pokeflute, but
oh, okay. So they made that
okay.
future-y sounding.
it has been a really long time since I've played Gen 2 though, so but I'm pretty sure that's what you had to do. Is you had to go find like the Pokegear or the Pokeflute app for your Pokegear and go wake up Snorlax with that.
That makes sense. That sounds familiar. So that's probably what.
Yeah, that sounds right. And I think, like, because of the name Sudowoodo, he's like a pseudo tree.
Yeah, there
I
you
get
go.
it. But just as a kid, I was like, how is he rock type? I don't understand, you know.
Well, it's like,
When
you
you're,
know
like,
how
6.
you have blown glass trees, like
Yes.
those beautiful pieces of artwork. Like
Yeah.
he's like that.
Okay. I don't know. 6-year-old me would have said that's bullshit. In whatever kind of 6-year-old way I could without using that word.
And I probably would have fought you because I thought Zubat was great and everyone else hated Zubat.
I mean, they're annoying. They
I
show up
love
everywhere.
Zubat! Cries forever.
Zubat is great. I just don't want to run into like 5 million of them while walking through a cave.
That's fair. I did catch Shiny Zubat twice, though. Once when I was first playing when I was a kid, and then
Nice.
again when I was playing the remake, Soul Silver.
Wow. Good
So-
job.
My soul is tied to having a Shiny Zubat.
What color is Crobat? Is it like a green?
It's pink.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I have a shiny Crobat right now.
I like Crobat. I like that it's like the 4 wings and then it's really fast, so you can like do.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love Crobat. And that's why I love Zubat, because you can't have a Crobat unless you catch a Zubat first.
True. It's
And become bestest friends with it.
Yes, he is so cute. And like Silver has a Crobat, so like you watch his emotional progression because he has a Golbat until like he recognizes that he has to be friends with his Pokemon, and then you run into him again and you like fight alongside him against the dragon like siblings. He has a Crobat, and you're just like, you had emotional development. Now you're just a tsundere. You're not an asshole.
Did you guys ever play any of the like I think it was GameCube Pokemon games, Coliseum or XD or Pokemon Stadium?
Nope.
Although that was game 64.
I've seen videos of it, but never played it.
So
I never owned a GameCube.
I did. Golbat, instead of in the games where he's like, you know, either suspended in air in the early ones where it's just sprites or like he is flying, in the 3D games, instead of being in the air, he's on the ground wrapped in his own wings over his mouth, and he's just kind of.
Does he like uncover his mouth when he's attacking or
Yes.
something? Okay.
But it's so creepy where it would just be like, I have no mouth, so I must scream, you know?
Oh, God. Feel good story of the century reference that.
Thank you. Somebody, we put up our Mother's Day episode this week, and somebody, during the little blurb, someone goes, fantastic popular reference, and I was like, that was not intended at all. I've never seen Wicked.
I have.
I
It's good. I recommend you go see it if you get the chance.
okay. I'll just go ahead and make a bunch of money and go to Broadway and
Not Broadway, like here, the knockoff ones.
the knockoff ones. I got to see Book of Mormon and Avenue Q though; those were pretty dope.
Avenue Q, awesome. I want to see the Book of Mormon too. I haven't gotten to see that one.
Have you seen any like plays, Root Beer?
I would really like to, but I never worked up the energy, and then now we can't go outside.
Right,
Yeah.
we're all grounded. That's what I've been calling it.
You have to also buy like the tickets like 6 months in advance if you want any sort of decent pricing.
God, don't even tell me about 6 months in advance. Root Beer, did I ever tell you about the Elton John concert?
Oh no.
I don't think you have.
Okay, so not this this last year, but the year before, I bought my mom Elton John tickets for her birthday a year in advance. And then about a month before, I was like, you excited? She's like, I don't want to go anymore.
Oh my god.
I was like, okay, so not only did I have a birthday gift undone, and I guess I have to get 2 this year, but also the kid who like had no friends, so he brought his mom to prom, is better than me. Because now I can't get my mom to go to a fucking Elton John concert. It's his farewell tour. This is the last we're going to get to see of him. And she's like, I don't know, he's bloated. He doesn't have the same range of motion anymore.
Oh no.
Fuck you, lady. What range of motion? He's sitting at a piano, just playing. And, like, I wanted to hit her because, like, she got all these stars in their prime in the 70s and 80s. Where, like, you know, you got David Lee Roth with a six-pack and I get Sammy Hagar. Just let me have this one thing.
To be fair, we have all of the Marvel Chris's and...
What do you mean? Oh, like, as stars.
Hot actors that
right.
are hot now.
Yeah, that's true.
And Robert Downey Jr. is a lot better looking to me, personally, now than he was, you know...
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
When he was like... Chris Pratt. I'm very impressed with how he managed to work himself into like a freaking godly figure of like beautiful muscles.
I mean, even when he was pudgy, I thought he was cute. Do you have any man crushes like that, Root Beer?
Can't think of any off the top of my head right now. I'll have to get back to you on that.
I just imagine you sitting there and like near the very end, you're like, Frank Sinatra Jr. What? Okay. Yazan walked around as Humbravi, mysteriously capable of doing so when a much smaller obstacle had blocked his path in entirety just moments ago. He then came upon a shiny Rattata. However, how do you pronounce it?
Me?
Either or. Both of you.
Rattata.
Yeah, I think I say like Rattata.
Rattata. Yazan already had a Rattata named Dumbass, but but shiny Pokemon could be traded for other better Pokemon, weapons, or even drugs.
Oh, we all know what is really in that lemonade.
Yeah. Yazan pulled a great ball from his pocket. Yazan liked great balls because they were great, just like him.
Who is this?
I mean, this definitely sounds like it was written late at night with lots of alcohol.
Yeah. It was great, just like him. Okay. Hurling the great ball like a baseball, as you should, Yazan beamed the shiny Rattata upside the skull. The Rattata decided it would be a good time for a nap, so it fell asleep. The great ball sat on the ground with no attempt to capture the Rattata.
Wait, what?
So he just threw it, bonk.
Was it, like, occupied already?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm assuming this Yazan is drunk as well.
Guess we'll see. Yazan had actually run out of great balls, so he used balls that already had Pokemon in them. There you go. This didn't work, but Yazan didn't really care much either. This time would be different. This time, Yazan liked shiny. Grabbing the unconscious shiny Rattata by the tail, Yazan opened up the great ball manually, shoving the shiny Pokemon in with a disturbing number of bone-crunching sounds. Yazan jammed the ball shut with a sense of satisfaction. That's horrible!
I can't even right now.
I thought this was going to be a terrible crossover, not animal cruelty. Says the guy who's a Pokemon fan. You know what? Fuck it.
Well, I like to think that they live in, some kind of a little paradise inside of their Pokeballs. Like in suspended animation paradise.
I'm just imagining like an Animal Crossing house where there's like a little bit of space for them to walk around in, but not much.
The only Animal Crossing experience I've had is the mobile game. So I don't have a good grasp on what Animal Crossing is supposed to actually be like.
Are you playing the new one, Root Beer?
I am not.
Oh. I
have seen YouTube videos of it, though.
It's fine. I bought it because I have nothing else to do in the core, so just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I named my town Ripiert. It is like Rip Peart, Rip Neil Peart. And I didn't really know what else to do, so I'm just kind of like I'll go visit other towns and they have like all this crazy infrastructure, and I'm like, I just come once a day to mine fossils and leave. I don't really...
Yeah. Like, I don't really have the patience for those kinds of sim games anymore.
Same.
Me neither. Further on to Pallet Town, Yazan encountered a young boy wearing a hat and shorts. The young boy challenged Yazan to a Pokemon battle. Yazan accepted because he was a Titan, and Titans fear nothing except whiny brats beating them in fights. The boy sent out a Clefairy. Yazan threw out his shiny Rattata, which was sharing a Pokeball with a Pikachu.
Oh, God.
What came out of the Great Ball was not Rattata nor a Pikachu, but a rather bloody mess of both, clearly in no shape to fight. Ratachu, return! Exclaimed Yazan.
So stupid.
When a drunk adult tries to play Pokemon.
He was already down 2 Pokemon, and this child hadn't even made a move. This looked bad. Yazan thought about the situation carefully before drawing his pistol and shooting the young boy in the kneecap.
That's pretty typical for Gundam, not gonna
What,
lie.
just shooting people?
Child murder is not a new thing for the Gundam franchise.
Okay.
Oh.
Gotcha. I mean...
Yazan did kill a lot of people in the series he came from.
I see.
Children?
Just casually killing people? Cool.
I don't think children specifically, but he did kill several main
I
characters.
see.
Okay.
It's how you do in the Gundam universe. But, like, have you ever been, like, you know, you only have, like, 1 Pokemon left and you're just trying to get to the next town, and you're, like, the person who's, like, doing this where they turn...
Oh, yeah, and you
And
just
you're
like,
like,
try to miss them.
You gotta, like, time it. You're like, okay, run now. And then the little exclamation point where he's like, motherfucker!
It's like, all I have is my shiny Zubat!
God,
I wish I could just punch out the opposing trainer and run away.
I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to...
There's actually a Pokemon, like, tabletop game that's, like, you know, D&D based kind of, where you get to fight alongside your Pokemon against someone else.
Okay.
So that's the extent of what I know about it. But
Who would you pick for something like that?
I would probably pick my partner, the shiny Zubat.
Okay, but
Except my the DM who's playing it was like, "Can I have a shiny Zubat?" He was like, "No," and I was like,
wow, that's mean. I like how. Do you remember the original intro where, like, near the very end, the singer's like going Pokemon, and you see all of, like, Ash and Misty and Brock's Pokemon carrying other Pokemon,
Yeah,
and, like, Brock's Zubat is carrying, I want to say,
it's a Squirtle, I think, right?
Ash's Squirtle, I think, but they're not held together by anything.
Yeah.
Zubat is just on top of Squirtle.
Because it has no limbs.
Yeah, I got that, but, like, Squirtle's not holding onto a leg or, like, wrapped around. He's just kind of dangling there.
So then Zubat must have, like, suction powers at the bottom of himself or something.
Maybe, like,
like-
like around Ash's Bulbasaur, you see the vines wrapped around, I want to say Pidgeotto, but it's
Yeah.
like, it just... No one ever pointed that out. It just bothered me as a kid. I was like, huh, strange. What?
I mean, if you teach it fly in the older games, you could fly around with, like, a Crobat.
Sure.
Well, Crobats are, like, bigger than
And-
people.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I mean, they certainly don't look like it the way they're portrayed in game,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I want to say, like, at least in the case of a Crobat, like, if you're a person, you can grab onto the body or sit on top of it or something if it's that big.
Or the little leggies.
The little mini wings on the bottom. But, like, or even with the Zubat, you can grab onto the dangly little legs there. But
I still have trouble, like, picturing using fly with a Zubat or, like, a Spearow or, like, a Pidgey or, like, any of the, like, tiny birds that are literally, like...
less than knee high. Yeah.
Yeah.
like just imagine someone in real life being carried around by, like, a pigeon.
Yes, exactly.
God, there's a Hey Arnold episode I want to see. Did you guys ever see Pigeon Man? Okay, so there's, like, a depressed guy who takes care of pigeons.
That's very sad.
And in the original, like, version of the episode, he commits suicide at the end.
What?
Which is fucked up, yeah.
Ugh.
They apparently changed it, though, because he gets carried off by, like, a bunch of pigeons grabbing onto his coat.
Because that's,
At the
you
end.
know, not code for suicide anyway.
Yeah, but, like, you're 9 when you're watching Hey Arnold, so what am I going to see, really?
Or you're like me and then just missed it until adulthood, and now if I ever see it, I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, no, that show is, like, really deep for its time. No?
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen any of it.
I've only watched, like, a few episodes here and there. I don't remember enough of it to comment.
Oh, okay. Already down to Pokemon. This looked bad. Okay, Yazan thought about the situation carefully before... kneecap. The boy's Clefairy started to cry. Yazan wasn't quite sure where Clefairy's kneecap was, so he shot it in the foot. You don't have knees, so I'm going to shoot your foot instead. The Clefairy cried
Sound
more.
logic.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, God.
Yazan strolled into Pallet Town quite unfazed by his sociopathic actions.
So is Yazan a villain? It sounds like he is.
Yes, he is.
Okay. I'm good.
He walked into the Pokemon Center where the attendant screamed in horror. Sure, yeah, understandable. Yazan remembered to put his pistol away and zip up his fly. What?
So he was walking around with no pants?
Or just his
fly undone?
his junk hanging out, or
Okay.
undies showing something. So he was rather confused as to why this woman was screaming at him. Another attendant wiped the Snorlax blood from Yazan's face. Oh, okay, there you go.
Oh, God.
Yazan apologized for his lapse of judgment. Both attendants took Yazan's balls and placed them in a machine. Ugh. I know they mean Pokeballs, but can you just put the... Moments later, all of Yazan's Pokemon were healed of their mortal injuries. Yazan pried open the great ball containing his half-shiny Radichu.
Half shiny.
Oh my.
Only to find it had evolved into a Sutaja.
What's a Sutaja?
What?
Might be... Wait. If it's Golbat and...
It's a
Raichu.
It's a Pikachu. It's a Pikachu and a Rattata. So
Would it evolve to Eradicate Raichu?
like, yeah, but that doesn't mix together into whatever the fuck Atlas just said.
Sutaja. It's spelled Tsutaja. Sutaja.
Is that a Gundam thing?
If it is, I can't remember it. I don't think so,
Is
though.
any of this a Gundam thing?
Aside for the Humbrabi, no. But like,
Which Gundam? I remember I did watch like one Gundam episode where there was some chick with like cat ears because like her regular ears had been destroyed or something. Was that a Gundam thing?
That might have been the most Japanese sentence I've ever heard you say.
not that I can
maybe
remember,
it was a
but
Gundam.
I also can't discount the possibility, unfortunately.
She just had like, maybe they were fox ears. They were like brown Nekomimi type ears, and she had pink hair.
This, like, you topped
This doesn't
yourself.
sound familiar. Nope, this does not sound
Okay,
familiar
maybe-
to me. You're probably thinking of something
Maybe it was
else.
some other mech anime that I just assumed was Gundam because there were giant robots in it.
Sure. Oh my god. Yazan was about to punch the... Wait. Yeah, Bazan was about to punch the belated snake for being so damn smug. But Sutaja jumped on Yazan's shoulder first. Fuck yeah! Exclaimed Sutaja.
I'm still trying to picture. They just like invent their own Pokemon for this.
I guess so.
Yazan was glad he didn't murder his new Pokemon. This little bastard was going to be an awesome wingman. Not awesome in the murder people way like Dunkel and Ramses were, but in the way that chicks would be all over Yazan with Sutaja. Let's get some bitches, yeah? Stated Sutaja.
So what is this, like Meowth? You
Maybe.
can talk.
Yeah. Or
The power of like being smushed from two other Pokemon in a tiny little space is given it the power of speech.
Yazan agreed. This was definitely a good time for the getting of bitches.
Don't even. This has gone so far beyond either franchise that it's spawned from. This is just someone's drunken fever dream, which at least they admitted to it.
That's true.
Bitches were got. The next day, Yazan taught Sutaja how to use a pistol.
Let me there's no paragraph breaks.
Yeah, it's just...
And the bitches were got the next day.
Yeah.
All in the same paragraph.
Together, Yazan and Sutaja broke into many homes in Kanto and shot people in self-defense before taking all of their stuff as a precaution against zombie uprisings. God, if that doesn't sound familiar.
Every video game ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna break into your home and steal your stuff. Bye!
Just throwing pots around. I'm gonna take your rupees. Okay, thanks, bye.
Oh, God. I think the only time you get in trouble for that is with, like, the Poe catcher, when you, like, break some stuff and he's, like, there.
I think so. Or if you, I want to say, like, Link to the Past, if you try and leave with something, Link's Awakening. If you try and leave with something from one of the shops, the guy just kills you. Because you leave and he's like, wait, no, come back. And then when you come back
He kills
for more
you.
stuff, he shoots you with lightning and kills you.
Which is funny because all of Link's Awakening is, spoilers for Link's Awakening, is your dream.
Yeah.
So in your dream, you actually have consequences for your actions, but in every actual real situation, there are no consequences for your actions.
I feel like that was implied, being called Link's Awakening, no?
I think so.
That it's a dream?
But, like, there are a surprising amount of people who were like, really? You're asleep?
Oh. Well, that says a lot about our education system. Zombie uprisings. Officer Jenny tried to arrest Yazan, but Yazan was like, I'm going to violate you.
That is actually something he said in the original.
Really?
Yes.
Surprisingly, like, forward for a rapist?
I mean, it was in the context of murder, but
Okay.
everyone...
I mean, I don't know if that makes it better.
No.
And then Sutaja was like, I'm going to violate you. And both of them violated Officer Jenny. Whoa!
No! I'm just gonna pretend it was, like, mild violation, like they both licked her face or something.
Sure. Ugh. This is disgusting me. It was okay, though. She thought Yazan was a pretty cool guy and needed to get off anyway, so everyone was happy.
Okay, well...
I'm so sorry, Chris.
It's... At least it implies that there was consent involved.
I guess so. Also, Yazan shot some more kids in the kneecap and drank alcohol because he's a magnificent jerk like that. Camille and Mijumaru weren't happy, though, because they weren't violating anybody. Belle walked by and told them they could violate her because she was so nice and they were nice and she liked being violated anyway. Then everyone really was happy. Who the fuck are these three people?
I mean, Camille was the main character of Zeta Gundam. I guess he's just here now.
Ugh.
Who's Belle?
I have no fucking idea.
Maybe it's just Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Maybe. But I like what?
We have just gone so far from anything.
Yeah.
End of chapter 1.
End of chapter 1. Like, going back to the Star Wars metaphor again, having those three people show up would be like the movie where, in the movie, Luke goes and, sees Obi-Wan, and then you don't meet Han or Leia or Darth Vader. You just see him, going to join the Resistance. And then right as he's about to blow up the Death Star, Leia and Han are like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Like, Darth Vader comes out in his TIE fighter, like, by the way, I'm the villain.
Yeah. I forgot he was in a TIE fighter in the first one.
He was in a specialized TIE fighter.
Yeah, because he's a
badass.
Asthmatic badass, yeah.
He was super awesome. He was I really liked, speaking of Star Wars, I really liked the character foils of the antagonists they had with the space Nazi and the space warlock.
What?
Tarkin. Tarkin was the space Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Tarkin was the kind of like, I guess, the more like lawful evil type, and then they had the chaotic evil, like mysterious Darth Vader, who you didn't know, he was the wild card with the Force and being evil and stuff, and you didn't know what was going to happen with him, but you knew like the kind of like lawful evil of the Nazi Tarkin.
Mm-hmm.
Who, fun fact, they didn't make his shoes large enough, so on set a lot of the time he was wearing bunny slippers.
That's really funny.
They
I love that. That's like when, like, I was on a Zoom comedy show earlier this week, and the entire time I was like, I'm not wearing pants, and I want it to be this way forever. I wish I could just do stand up in my undies without it being a thing.
You can.
Without it being a thing.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. If you made sure they were like very thick boxers, you could probably get away with it.
Is that a reference to my syndrome costume from this last year?
No.
Okay.
But now it is.
Yeah. So that costume was so like tight that it would cut off blood flow to my crotch, but it was also so tight that it would accentuate everything. So it was just like my limp blood, and I tried taping it. I tried like tucking it. There was nothing I could do. So I just had like what looked like an onion, like I was smuggling an onion. And that, kids, is why you get the syndrome costume one size up than what you think it's going to be. What do you think's going to happen with Halloween this year? Do you think we're still going to be in quarantine?
I think we should
I would hope not, but who the hell even knows? We're living in the worst timeline.
We're living in the dumbest timeline.
Oh yeah, that you sent me that earlier this week,
did.
right? Yeah.
You were we were talking about like history and like potential.
Oh, like
events.
How this could have been avoided? Or...
Yeah, and so we were having like a history nerd chat, and then Alice was like, "What brought this up?" And I sent him a link to this YouTube sketch by Ryan George called "The Dumbest Timeline," and he's like, "Yeah, that tracks."
So there's an epilogue. Do you want to take this one?
I'll read the epilogue. Yazan is the very best, like no one ever was. To kick ass is his real test. To slay them is his cause.
Oh, come on, at least sing it. Yazan is the very best, like no one ever was.
Burner. To kick ass is his real test.
To slay them is his cause.
Epilogue!
Gotta catch 'em all.
Due to the outpouring of support from his one fan, Yazan Gable knew it was his manly duty to show off the manly results of what happened between Yazan's glorious acquisition of a wingman snake and said snake's conspicuous absence in his following adventure. Yazan punched a young boy in the face for the 6th time today.
Oh, God. The 6th time today. I remember... Okay, do you ever have one of those memories where you just remember it in bed and you're like, oh, God, why would I do that? When I was 6, I was at a kid's birthday party, and I punched him in the face.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I just remember I punched him in the face and got yelled at and punished and all that stuff, but I don't
As you
know
should have been.
what the motive was. It's driving me crazy. Why did I punch Ben, whatever your last name is, in the face? I'm sorry. I can't remember. If I knew the motive... However shitty that motive was, I feel like it would make it better, but it's not. And God, do you guys ever have stuff like that where like you just remember?
Yeah.
Like, got any?
What's yours?
I remember like when I was in high school, I tried to order an Irish coffee because I didn't know what an Irish coffee was. That restaurant has since closed down, so I never have to think about it ever again.
Yay!
That's not terrible. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's just very embarrassing when the waiter's like, there's whiskey in it.
And you're like, oh, I just thought it was good luck. Sorry about that.
You can just be like, can I just have a good luck coffee?
Put a clover in there for me, home country.
I ended up ordering some black tea instead out of embarrassment.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, Britain brought an empire to its knees for that tea.
They did. It's so sad.
What about you? You got any like horrible...
Oh, I have so many.
Give us one then.
I mean, I recall many occasions of coming home like dirty and needing to be like actually like physically like muddy and stuff and needing to be like hosed off in the front yard before I was allowed to come inside.
I just imagine your dad. Stop right there.
No, it wasn't my dad. It was my mom. This was in Peru when I was like a small child, rolling around in the outsides of, doing things that I was being simultaneously punished for, being like, like not civilized and not like keeping clean and stuff, and that was like not appropriate. And then also just they didn't want the house to be dirty. So.
Sure, but was it just the hose, or was there like that weird like gun attachment?
Oh no, they like made the gun attachment with your thumb. Because
yeah. So you get more pressure that way.
Yep. So I was sprayed down with a hose several times like a bad dog, and then I got to come inside and eat dinner.
Just dripping. Wait, did you just like walk over to the dinner table still dripping, or like?
Depended. I mean, usually they threw a towel at me and were like, it depended on how close it was to dinner time, whether I had time to go change or I just ate wet at the table.
Well, that bums me out.
It was my fault for coming back dirty, and also, well, kind of, but also, yeah, it was. I'd say it was my fault. Like, I knew that I was gonna need to get hosed down, but it was my fault for coming back like so close to when I knew dinner was gonna be served. Instead of like well before, so I could have like gone upstairs and like put on clothes.
Taking a shower.
Yeah. Oh, taking a shower was never what I intended to do. I was a small child.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to take showers or take baths.
Where do you think that line is between hating taking showers and baths and being like, this is the only good part of my day?
I don't know, but that definitely is a thing.
At some point you just become aware of yourself and you're like, being sweaty and gross all the time kind of sucks. I should shower.
I want to say like middle school.
Maybe.
Like, because that's when you start hating waking up in the morning. And I think that's where like your morning shower to wake yourself up. That's the only time.
But you like morning showers. I like evening showers.
True.
So.
I do both.
So you're just extra clean all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get sweaty really easily, so I wake up, my hair's all greasy, so I like shower, wash my hair, and then when I go out and go about my day, because I get sweaty easily, I come home and I'm all greasy and gross, so I have to shower again a second time so that I can feel clean again.
I've been doing a lot of like evening showers lately too, just because it's like, I hate summer so much.
Well, for me, I like taking a shower in the evening because I don't like getting in bed gross and disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I take a shower and then I get into my sheets and I'm all nice and clean, and I sleep with two dogs, so that shouldn't matter, but that's okay.
And then there were the times in UCR where I would take like 5 showers because I'm pulling an all-nighter, and every couple of hours I have to go hop in the shower to keep myself awake.
You ever fall asleep in the shower? I've done that a few times.
Yes. It's so weird.
No.
Well, because like I like to sit down in the shower, so you'll just be like, yeah, I'm up, cool.
I've fallen asleep standing up in the shower one time.
I've never done that.
I was like leaning against the wall, so I like fell asleep in the corner, and then I woke up and it was like cold, and I was like, and I had to finish washing like really fast.
Oh, like because you used all the hot water.
Yes,
oh my
that's
God.
what woke me up.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the days when I didn't sleep.
6th time today, I think is where we were.
6th time, yes. Punching children.
Punching children in the
As
face.
you do.
Due to children having softer skulls, they were easier on the knuckles, and Yazan could punch for days. That is, if Sutaja hadn't pooped on his shoulder for the 3rd time. Strike 3, little bastard, growled Yazan.
Nobody ever has to poop in the Pokemon universe. I don't think.
I mean, I'm sure they do. It's just they're all used to it because they're all like children that are sent out when they're 10 years old to fend for themselves in the forest.
Yeah, but like you never see anybody in a bathroom.
No, they don't have bathrooms. Why would you have bathrooms when you have children running around in the forest?
I mean, people still live in towns and stuff like that.
That's true.
Maybe it's like a movie thing where like you never see anyone going to the bathroom except in like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I'm sure they have bathrooms somewhere in each building. It's just...
We never see them.
Yeah. Or maybe they have outhouses. I don't know what their technology... They have running water. Wait, they have sinks.
They have sinks, running water. They have like sci-fi technology, Poke Gear and stuff like that, Pokeballs.
Yeah. So they have to have toilets.
That's
and
the dumbest
cars
timeline.
exist, even though there are like no visible roads in any town.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have, like it's an alternate universe where like technology has advanced to such an extent, but for some reason John Harrington never invents the toilet.
That would be so sad. I'm sure someone would have invented something toilet-like by then.
Maybe.
I like the theory that it's like a post-apocalyptic world where they just control overpopulation by sending all of the children out when they're 10, and if they survive, they survive, and if they don't, they don't.
That sounds like something out of game theory.
Oh, I don't remember where I heard it. I think it was in college or in high school when we were talking about why is Pokemon like this, and someone posited that theory, and it sounded like a good theory.
Sure.
Because it seems like the younger children are like allowed to come home. They're just practicing for when they're going to be eventually shunted out when they're 10 years old.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the ones who do survive, they come back and they, I guess, travel again. At least in Ash's case. He's like, all right, I went to a region and lost the lead again.
He's still 10, though.
Yeah. I mean, the Pokemon anime, time is just compressed, and apparently every season is like 2 days now. Because he's still 10 years old, despite untold numbers of years adventuring in various regions.
And his rival actually, like, retiring from being a Pokemon trainer and becoming a researcher.
Yeah. And then he has, like, a new rival every season. I still think Sinnoh was the best of the anime. You had, like, the best rival. He kept getting his ass kicked.
I did not watch the anime that far.
So, it's this guy, Paul, who every time he meets him, Ash just gets flattened, like, hard. And he eventually beats Paul in the Sinnoh League. Okay. And it's like a season-long arc, and that it is combined with Paul has a Chimchar at the beginning, and you are made to think it's Paul's starter, but it turns out his starter was Turtwig, and he's got a Torterra. And Chimchar was one that he just found, and then after, like, Chimchar fails him, Paul releases him in front of Ash, and Ash is like, you want to come with me? And then Ash evolves him all the way up into an Infernape, and Infernape wins the match.
So that's why you like all of the Sinnoh starters so much.
Yeah, because, like, Ash's Infernape has, like, the best arc of all of the Pokemon he's had, I think.
Charizard was a decent arc.
Or it's like, you remember the thing in Kanto with Lieutenant Surge?
Oh, and how Pikachu didn't want to evolve.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where if you took that arc and stretched it out really far, and instead of I don't want to evolve, it's I want to get stronger. And
well,
I mean, Ash's Charizard is an ungrateful bastard.
Oh yeah,
agreed. Eventually, he lets him go in some like Charizard reserve, and he gets a girl Charizard to beat his ass, and then he's like, "I'm in love."
Yeah, and then he calls on him whenever he needs him. I guess. But now he has so many like crazy powerful Pokemon, it doesn't matter.
I always liked Hoenn the best as far as the anime went, because Ash in that one wasn't really aspiring to be a champion anymore. He was still going through the league and stuff, but it felt like he had already kind of matured a little bit and was playing more of a mentor role to like May and Max.
That's
true.
That
would have been nice if they continued on like that track.
And he actually like evolved a lot of his Pokemon in that season.
Yeah, he did that in Kalos too, with what's her name? This is gonna kill me. Serena.
Is that the black and white one?
No, it's X and Y.
Okay.
X and Y.
Yeah, and then he still loses the lead in that one, you little fucker. All right.
Yeah.
I think the only league...
I don't even remember if Ash challenges any league in Hoenn. I think...
He does.
Like, I know May was doing, like, the contest thing, and then... I can't remember what was going on with Ash.
Ash loses in Hoenn in, like, top 8 or 16 or something like that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Against, like, you know how they have, like, the one rival who shows up just for the lead? That one. He loses to that one.
I remember in the Indigo League, at least he lost because like all of his Pokemon were already tired.
No, it was he lost because Charizard refused to fight, and he was his last Pokemon.
What?
Yeah, Charizard was being a jerk. He's like, I'm not moving.
What the heck?
Yeah, just chilling. And then he's like, if your Pokemon's not going to do anything, you're disqualified. He's like, come on, do something. And
this is after he's already like gotten who knows how many badges?
Yeah, it's Charizard doesn't start to obey him until I want to say a little before Johto, in that weird like where he goes island hopping.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in the Orange Island, which he actually does beat the Orange Island League, but they're not. I think they kind of, in the games, they made the Alola regions kind of based on the Orange Islands.
I think so.
Because you don't actually have a gym battle, you have a contest thing.
Or a trial, I don't know.
Yeah, the trials. That's really cool, though. I really like the Marowak one. You should play it. You'd like it.
Maybe. I don't know. We should finish this up.
We should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strike 3, little bastard.
Okay. This shit was on both literally and figuratively.
Ugh.
Tearing off his members-only jacket in a fit of rage at the fact that he was wearing a members-only jacket, Yazan snapped his fingers in the air. At his summoning, the Hammurabi leapt into the air from an inconvenient distance to 20 feet away. Reached low... Wait, what? I'm still confused about where these robots are coming from. Are they just like...
Yeah, me too. Like... Because Yazan isn't a new type.
Okay.
So, like, he doesn't have the psychic powers in the original series, and, like, his robot wasn't equipped with any kind of psychic equipment for him to summon it from far away.
Okay, so maybe he has a button or something?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Okay. At his summoning... The Hammurabi leapt into the air from an inconvenient distance of 20 feet away and reached low orbit above Earth, then proceeded to re-enter and land gracefully a much more manageable 8 feet away. Climbing into the cockpit of the Hammurabi... Hammurabi, I'm sorry. Hammurabi, yes, that's correct. Yazan glared at his would-be wingman. Any last words, you shitty son of a bitch? Sutaja!
Don't have kids.
What, Yazan?
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you think he's ever going to be able to procreate?
Yeah, exactly.
With that, Yazan danced the Irish jig of a giant Gundam death upon the heads of Sutaja and the young boy. For a brief moment, the jig was devoid of any joy... of the joy of any jig of death... What? The jig was devoid of the joy any jig of death should contain... But Yazan caught his faux pas quickly upon realizing he didn't give a shit about anyone who wasn't himself.
Yeah, that's true.
In celebration, Yazan cranked up the Hammurabi's sound system with some Ching's...
I think Genghis?
Genghis Khan Plague Mosaku. It was a giant robot Kazakh talk time. During the giant robot Kazakh chalk, Yazan inadvertently opened up a hole in time and space itself. It didn't really do anything important, though, aside from send home the young science student named Tesla back in time where his future knowledge would alter reality as we know it. Except since we know it, it happened, and we did not know what would have happened if it did not happen.
What? Okay, so somehow he sent Nikola Tesla, who was here back in time, to do Nikola Tesla things, but Nikola Tesla wasn't mentioned until just now.
Yep. Through the night.
Well, we can clearly see where the alcohol took over.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the very beginning, when he sat down to write this.
Through the night, Yazan and the Hammurabi danced Cossack choke through the small village, destroying it in the process. Well, it was most convenient to keep moving, as murder trials resulted in messy and unpleasant murder to solve the problem. Yazan decided he would walk outside to smell the carnage he had wrought. It was only after cleaning up the Hammurabi and deciding to not stomp humans into goo that his next adventure would begin, one that had already been written due to future sight. Not the Pokemon move used by something Yazan would later destroy, but the precognition that the people pretend they have to make money on TV. Gotta slay them all! Gundam on!
Root beer, what'd you think?
That was certainly something. That was definitely not what I was expecting, for sure. Like,
that's the point.
Yeah. Like, that was just a drunken fever dream.
Yeah.
I don't even... Like, that wasn't really anything Gundam or Pokemon. It was just vodka word vomit.
Gargle mesh. I would say how would you punch this up, but
Maybe don't drink before you write.
Yeah. Maybe try writing sober.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not drunk enough.
Well, no, it's write drunk, edit sober. He just forgot the edit sober part. Or edit at all.
Except the edit part would have been just deleting the entire thing.
Right, as you should. I think if I was to be serious about it, it would be, I don't know, properly introduce your characters.
Maybe don't have a serial killer as your main character.
Yeah, that would... I mean, you can do Hannibal.
Fair.
Like, you can do a serial killer well, just...
You have to make them a tasteful serial killer, though.
Yes, that's true. It's like tasteful nudes. Just, tasteful killing.
They have to have some kind of... In writing, I've seemed to, like, discover that if you have someone who's, like, a bad person, they have to have their own weird, like, code of honor. So, like, in Hannibal, it's you can't be rude.
Mm-hmm.
In Killing Eve, like, hers is some kind of...
Seduce them?
Sort of? Guess. Hers is, like, she has... I mean, she's very much for women empowerment. Yeah. I guess that's her code of honor.
Kill them, but in a feminist way.
Yeah.
Right on, Killing Eve. I don't know. I feel like if this guy has any code of honor, it's completely self-serving.
See, that's not a code of honor. That means he's a bad main character.
Yeah, like I feel like that would work better as a video game than as a... Because, like, that's Grand Theft Auto, basically, but just in Pokemon.
Yeah.
With Gundam.
Yeah. I mean, I also just wouldn't cross over Pokemon and Gundam because they don't really blend together very well.
As we can clearly see.
Yeah. I'm sorry to have wasted your time, because now you can never unhear this. But thank you for coming on Bad Reading, Root Beer.
No problem.
Where can people find you out there on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Plasma Eclipse. I do the arts.
Nice.
He does arts. And then he's also on, as he mentioned before, a weekly Cardfight Vanguard podcast called Nexus at Night. You and I.
And then, whenever I'm done with all of my class stuff, and James is also done with all of his stuff, we're going to try and record the podcast about Final Fantasy VII Remake, because that's basically someone's fan fiction.
I've never played it. I wouldn't know.
I've heard. Oh. I have not played it either.
Where can people find you, Chris?
Stolen_relic on Twitter and same handle on Instagram, although I recently figured out how the DM system on Instagram works. So
how many DMs did you have, like, unaddressed? Or...
Several years worth.
Wow. Because, like...
Oh, my God.
Well, no, because when you open it, it should be, like, a little red dot, right, next to your name. And be like...
But I didn't know what it meant.
Oh.
I'm an 80-year-old man in a younger person's body.
What is that chirping going on inside of my house? I'll just ignore it.
Didn't know what it was.
Couldn't be the smoke detector.
But I do know how DMs in Twitter work, so that's a much better way of getting in contact.
Yeah, they are a little easier to find because they're, like, next to each other. Or, like, profile, DMs, and then in Instagram you can only see it from, like, the home page, and it's up in the corner.
Yeah,
and it's like, ugh.
Didn't know what it was, so...
Yeah, and then you can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter or Instagram, or you can find this show at Bad Reading Pod at Twitter or Instagram. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Forget everything you just heard, wash your hands, and we'll see you next time.